The average BMW 5 Series costs $17,800 to maintain over 10 years. The average Mercedes E-Class costs $14,700. Now here's the number that makes both of those sound insane. One luxury sedan on this list costs $5,926 for the same decade, and it drives better than both of them. That's not a typo. That's not a stripped-down economy car hiding behind a fancy badge. That's a genuine luxury sedan with leather, a V6, and the kind of engineering that makes dealership service departments lose sleep at night. 12 of them. Let's count up. Number 12, Buick LaCrosse, 2010 to 2016. You know what makes a dealer nervous? A car that only shows up for oil changes. The 2010 to 2016 Buick LaCrosse is that car. Repair Pal puts the average annual repair cost at $569, and here's the detail that matters. The 3.6-liter V6 underneath spent years powering police cruisers, rental fleets, and government vehicles before anyone dropped it into a Buick for your grandmother to drive to brunch. An engine that survived law enforcement abuse will survive your commute without breaking a sweat. Nobody under 50 walks into a Buick dealership on purpose. That's not an insult. It's the reason the LaCrosse costs what it costs. The cabin is quieter than a Honda Accord. The ride is smoother than a Volkswagen Passat. And the maintenance costs are lower than both. Every part is a cheap GM component available at every auto store in the country. But here's the thing most buyers miss. A dealer would genuinely rather sell you a BMW 3 Series at $1,166 per year in repairs, because that BMW comes back every 6 months writing checks the Buick never will. You can find clean examples for $5,000 to $11,000, built like a cockroach. Not pretty, not exciting, but absolutely unkillable. You could ignore this car for 6 months and it would still start on the first turn like nothing happened. Not bad for a car that makes service departments irrelevant. So that's a Buick that never visits the shop. But what if I told you the next sedan has Toyota hybrid technology hiding inside a Lincoln? Yeah, stick around for this one. Number 11, Lincoln MKZ Hybrid, 2013 to 2020. This one's going to sound made up. The 2013 to 2020 Lincoln MKZ Hybrid runs on Toyota's hybrid system. Not inspired by Toyota, not similar to Toyota. Ford literally licensed Toyota's Atkinson cycle hybrid technology. Same exact system that powers the Camry Hybrid and the Lexus ES Hybrid, and dropped it into a Lincoln. The most failure-prone component in any hybrid vehicle built by the most reliable hybrid manufacturer on earth wearing an American badge. Lincoln dealers don't advertise this. And honestly, can you blame them? Repair Pal puts the annual cost at $649, and the hybrid version delivers over 40 miles per gallon in a mid-size luxury sedan with the kind of silent gliding ride that makes a Mercedes C-Class feel like a financial mistake rather than a driving experience. The regenerative braking system means brake pads last roughly twice as long as conventional pads. One more repair bill the dealer won't be sending you. And here's the part that really stings for the service department. The hybrid powertrain, the piece most buyers panic about, is the one component Toyota engineered to last a decade without touching it. You can find clean examples for $9,000 to $16,000. A Lincoln with Toyota DNA for the price of a loaded Civic. This thing is a sleeper in the truest sense. Nobody sees it coming, and nobody sees it in the repair shop either. Okay, so we've got a Buick and a Lincoln so far. The next one originally cost $60,000 and sells for $15,000. And the only reason is 4 letters on the hood. Number 10, Kia K900, 2015 to 2019. Let me set the scene. You walk into a room full of car enthusiasts and say, "I bought a Kia for $60,000. They laugh. Now tell them the same car sluts with a 5.0-liter V8, 420 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, quilted leather, and every luxury feature that BMW charges $15,000 in options for is available, used for $15,000 to $22,000. Nobody's laughing anymore. The Kia K900 uses the same Tau V8 that Hyundai developed for the Genesis and the Equus, an engine proven across multiple luxury platforms with zero documented pattern of catastrophic failure. The 8-speed automatic is smooth, the chassis is balanced, and the interior would look expensive parked next to a Lexus LS. Sales were so low that some Kia dealerships never even ordered one, which means the few that exist have been meticulously maintained by the type of buyer who researches a car for 6 months before purchasing. That buyer takes care of their vehicles. The K900 has lost $40,000 in value purely because of badge perception. Not because anything mechanical went wrong. The dealer made thin margin on the original sale, lost the customer to the used market on the second sale, and never sees the car in service because it simply doesn't break. 3 lost revenue opportunities on one vehicle. The K900 is the automotive equivalent of finding a designer suit at a thrift store. Same quality, different tag, and nobody at the party knows the difference. A $60,000 V8 sedan for $15,000 that never breaks. Now here's where the list starts getting really interesting. The next sedan comes with a warranty so long that dealers don't see it for years. Number 9. Hyundai Genesis Sedan, 2012 to 2016. Here's a question that messes with people's heads. What if the best BMW 5 Series competitor wasn't a BMW at all, but a Hyundai that most Americans refused to consider because the badge felt wrong at the country club? The 2012 to 2016 Hyundai Genesis sedan was built to answer exactly that question. Hyundai hired BMW chassis engineers, used real leather, real wood, offered a 5.0-liter V8, making 429 horsepower, and priced the whole thing at half what the Germans charged. Then badge snobbery crushed the sales numbers. But listen to this. Hyundai's transferable 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty means a second owner buying at 60,000 miles still has 40,000 miles of factory protection. That's 4 more years where the dealer makes absolutely zero service revenue because Hyundai is covering the bill. The 3.8-liter Lambda 5V6 uses timing chains, not belts. Both the V6 and V8 are naturally aspirated. No turbo seals to fail, no intercooler to replace, nothing generating revenue for the parts department. ZF transmissions, same supplier as BMW, handle the shifts. You can find clean examples for $12,000 to $17,000. One owner described the experience perfectly. It's like showing up to a country club in a perfectly tailored suit from Target. The suit fits, the price just doesn't impress anyone. But here's the kicker. That suit will still look sharp at 200,000 miles, while the BMW next to it is held together with zip ties and prayers. A transferable warranty that kills dealer profits for years. Stay with me here. The next sedan was engineered in Sweden, with a transmission from the company that supplies Toyota. Number 8. Volvo S60. 2011 to 2018. Most people hear Volvo and think of boxy wagons from the 1980s driven by college professors who garden on weekends. Fair enough. But the 2011 to 2018 S60 is something entirely different. A Swedish luxury sedan that pairs obsessive safety engineering with an Aisin-sourced 8-speed automatic transmission. Why does Aisin matter? Because Aisin is the company that builds gearboxes for Toyota and Lexus. So underneath the Swedish badge sits a transmission with Japanese reliability, which is exactly the kind of detail that makes a service advisor quietly change the subject when you ask how often it needs attention. The later Drive-E 2.0-liter turbo 4-cylinder is the engine mechanics recommend. Efficient, well-proven, and paired with that Aisin gearbox that shifts with the same mechanical certainty Lexus owners take for granted. The S60's crash structure uses boron steel and a passenger cell designed to survive impacts that would fold a BMW 3 Series in half. When a manufacturer over-engineers a car to save your life at highway speed, the window regulators and door handles tend to hold up pretty well too. Volvo sedan prices have cratered because Americans stopped buying sedans, and Volvo's SUV lineup absorbed all the brand's remaining prestige. You can find clean examples for $8,000 to $16,000. Swedish engineering, Japanese transmission, priced like a used Civic. The S60 flies so far under the radar that even other car people forget it exists, which is exactly why the deals on these are borderline criminal. A Volvo with a Toyota supplier transmission for Civic money. Now, next sedan literally beat the BMW 5 Series in a published head-to-head test, and still nobody bought it. Number 7. Cadillac CTS, 2014 to 2019. I need you to sit with this for a second. Motor Trend tested the 2014 to 2019 Cadillac CTS against the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class. The Cadillac won in handling, in steering feel, in interior design. It beat both Germans across the board. Then it walked into the dealership and lost. Because the badge said Cadillac, and the American luxury market decided decades ago that German equals premium and American equals compromise. The data disagrees. The market doesn't care about data. The magnetic ride control suspension, shared with the Corvette, delivers handling precision that most BMW owners would find genuinely threatening if they ever bothered to test drive one. The 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V6, with timing chain issues resolved in post-2014 models, maintains with a consistency that German competitors actively engineer against, because reliable maintenance is terrible for service revenue. The mechanic's take is blunt. The CTS is the BMW you can actually afford to keep running after 100,000 miles. You can find clean 2015 to 2017 examples for $12,000 to $20,000. A comparison test winner, selling for a third of the car it beat. If that doesn't make you question how the luxury market works, nothing will. The CTS is sitting there waiting. Dead nuts reliable and begging for a buyer who cares about driving more than about what the neighbors think. That's the kind of bang for the buck that makes car people lose sleep at night. The car that beat BMW and nobody noticed. What's coming next? An engine that won Ward's 10 Best 14 separate times, more than any engine in history. Number 6, Infiniti G37/Q40, 2008 to 2015. 14. That's how many times Nissan's VQ engine family has appeared on Ward's 10 Best Engines list, more than any other engine family in the award's history. The 2008 to 2015 Infiniti G30 carries the VQ 37VHR 3.7-liter version, producing 330 horsepower through a naturally aspirated V6 with no turbo, no direct injection carbon issues, and a timing chain that never asks for scheduled replacement. RepairPal gives it $540 per year with an 8% chance of a severe repair, compared to 18% for a comparable BMW. Here's what makes the G37 specifically annoying for service departments. It combines sport sedan performance, rear-wheel drive, available 6-speed manual, 7,500 revolutions per minute redline, with the kind of mechanical simplicity that turns a scheduled visit into a 15-minute oil change rather than a 4-hour diagnostic session. Mechanics who work on both Infinitis and BMWs consistently say the same thing. The G37 is the car I'd buy with my own money. That's not marketing. That's the professional opinion of people who spend their careers comparing exactly this data. You can find clean sedans for $8,000 to $14,000. A car with a 14-time award-winning engine, an 8% failure rate, and an asking price lower than most high-mileage 3 Series that will cost triple to maintain. The G37 is a stone-cold sleeper. It looks like a regular sedan, drives like a sports car, and runs like a Swiss watch that somebody forgot to charge you for. 14 awards, 8% failure, and the next sedan costs even less to maintain. How is that even possible? Let me show you. Number 5, Acura TL, 2004 to 2008. Here's a sentence that should not be true, but absolutely is. The 2004 to 2008 Acura TL costs $456 per year to maintain, according to RepairPal. That's less than a Honda Civic. Read that again. A luxury sports sedan with 270 horsepower, leather interior, Brembo brakes, and an available 6-speed manual, costing less to maintain per year than the economy car your neighbor drives to work. RepairPal ranks the TL 6th out of 31 luxury midsize cars with a 4.0 out of 5.0 reliability rating. The engine is Honda's J-Series Phi-6, specifically the J32A3 in the standard model and the J35A8 in the Type S, refined since 1996 across millions of Honda vehicles. Independent mechanics have documented J-Series engines hitting 300,000 miles on original internals. One forum owner logged 261,000 miles on his Type S, replacing nothing beyond a purge valve and a starter, a maintenance list shorter than what most BMWs accumulate in their first 30,000 miles. The TL is the car Honda built to steal BMW's customers, and then accidentally made so reliable that nobody ever came back to the dealership at all. You can find clean examples for $5,000 to $12,000. A Honda V6 that outlasts everything for less than Civic money. And the Type S with the manual, that's the car mechanics drive on their day off. Not because they have to, but because they finally get to enjoy driving something they'll never have to fix. Set it, forget it, and drive it till the wheels fall off. Except the wheels don't fall off either. Less than a Civic to maintain. And we're only at number 5. The next 3 are Lexus. And this is where dealers genuinely start losing sleep. Number 4, Lexus GS35. 2006 to 2020. The Lexus GS 350 is the sedan I'd tell my best friend to buy if he came to me and said, I want something that drives like a BMW, but I'm tired of paying for it. Rear-wheel drive. 311 horsepower. The 2GR-FSE 3.5-liter V6 from the same engine family that powers the Camry, the Highlander, and half of Toyota's lineup. Proven across millions of vehicles as one of the most reliable 6-cylinders ever manufactured. Annual repair cost, $551 according to RepairPal. That's less than the industry average for all vehicles combined. Not just luxury sedans. Here's the math that makes dealerships uncomfortable. A BMW 5 Series owner spends roughly $1,166 per year on repairs. A GS 350 owner spends less than half that. Over 5 years, that's over $3,000 in service revenue that the dealer never sees per customer. Multiply that across thousands of owners and you understand why Lexus dealerships run smaller service departments than BMW dealerships despite selling comparable volumes. The GS 350 is the sedan that does everything a 5 Series does while quietly refusing to fund the business model that makes German luxury profitable. You can find clean examples for $10,000 to $22,000, and everyone sold as a customer the BMW service department will never see again. The GS 350 is the car that does the whole enchilada: performance, luxury, reliability, without ever making you write a check you didn't plan for. I'd tell my best friend to buy that car. The next one, I'd tell my mother, and she'd never have to think about car trouble again. Number 3, Lexus ES 350, 2007 to 2018. If there's one sentence that has saved more people more money than any other sentence in automotive history, it's this: it's just a fancy Camry. The 2007 to 2018 Lexus ES 350 gets dismissed with that line constantly. And it's the single best buying recommendation anyone has ever accidentally given. Because yes, the ES 350 shares the Camry's platform, the Camry's 2GR-FE V6, and the Camry's ability to reach 300,000 miles on oil changes and absolutely nothing else. Every expensive failure point that keeps BMW, Mercedes, and Audi service departments profitable has been engineered out of this car by the simple act of never adding it. Over 10 years, the ES 350 costs approximately $5,926 in total maintenance according to CarEdge. For perspective, that's less than a single timing chain replacement on a BMW N63 V8. 1 decade of luxury sedan ownership for less than 1 repair on a competitor. No timing belt, no turbo, no direct injection, no carbon buildup. ES owners show up once a year for an oil change, decline every upsell, and leave with a car that runs perfectly for another 12 months without generating a single service ticket. You can find clean examples for $7,000 to $16,000. The fact that it's boring is the feature. Boring means nothing breaks, and nothing breaking means the dealership never sees you again. The ES 350 is the set it and forget it luxury sedan. Buy it, change the oil, and watch it outlive cars that cost 4 times as much. $5,926 for a decade. The next sedan is the one mechanics buy for themselves when they want luxury that's actually fun to drive. Number 2, Lexus IS 350, 2006 to 2020. I asked a mechanic friend what luxury sedan he drives. He didn't say BMW, he didn't say Mercedes. He said Lexus IS 350, and then explained why with a logic so clean it sounded rehearsed. It's the only car that combines the one thing I care about at work, an engine that never fails, with the one thing I care about after work, a car that's actually fun to drive. The 2GR-FE FSE 3.5-liter V6 produces 306 horsepower in a rear-wheel drive chassis, with a limited slip differential and double wishbone suspension that makes BMW 3 Series owners feel something they're not used to feeling: doubt. The IS 350 takes the most profitable customer in the luxury market, the sports sedan enthusiast paying premium prices, and converts them into a ghost. They buy the car and never come back. A BMW 3 Series owner averages $773 per year in repairs. An IS 350 owner averages $551. Over 5 years, that's over $1,100 per customer in lost revenue. Lexus engineered a car that makes you feel like you're driving a BMW while costing what a Toyota costs to own. And the entire industry has been quietly cursing that decision for over a decade. You can find clean examples for $10,000 to $22,000. The IS 350 is built different. The engineers literally decided that a sports sedan and a repair bill should never appear in the same sentence. The car mechanics buy for themselves. And now, number 1. The sedan with the highest quality score ever recorded. This is the one that changed everything. Number 1, Lexus LS 430, 2001 to 2006. This is it. The luxury sedan that broke the entire dealership business model, and the industry has spent 2 decades pretending it doesn't exist. J.D. Power gave the 2001 to 2006 Lexus LS 430 a quality and reliability score of 95 out of 100. No manufacturer has matched that number with any vehicle in any segment since. Car complaints has virtually 0 significant complaints across the entire production run. Owners have documented these engines crossing 500,000 miles on oil changes alone, 500,000 miles. On a luxury sedan with nothing replaced. The 3UZ-FE 4.3-liter V8 was balanced during development with champagne glasses sitting on the valve covers at idle, and they didn't spill. Toyota invested $1 billion to build an engine so reliable that a variant was later FAA certified for aircraft. Trusted to keep humans alive at 10,000 feet. That engine sits in a car you can buy for $8,000 to $18,000. The LS430 costs $7,130 to maintain over an entire decade, according to CarEdge. A BMW 7 Series costs $17,800 over the same period. That's enough savings to buy a second LS430 with the money you didn't spend on the BMW. 95 out of 100, champagne glasses on the valve covers, FAA certified for aircraft, and enough savings over a BMW to buy a second one. The LS430 is the cream puff of the used luxury market, a car so well built that buying one feels less like a purchase and more like discovering a cheat code that the entire automotive industry hoped you'd never find. That's not just a car. That's the strongest argument against buying German luxury that the automotive industry has ever produced. 12 luxury sedans, $5,926 to $7,130 per decade, champagne glasses that didn't spill, and an engine certified to keep people alive at altitude. The dealer hopes you never see this list. Now you have. Use it. Which one are you buying? Comments. Subscribe. The next list covers the luxury sedans dealers love selling, and the repair bills will make you physically uncomfortable.